A fashion store manager mocked an old shoemaker, but he had no idea what was coming. Early sunlight spilled over the storefront glass, turning the whole street into a row of shiny mirrors. At one corner, Jack the cobbler hunched on a short stool, working a needle through a tired boot. His toolbox was scratched, his hands steady, the rest of the city rushing past like wind. Liam came strolling by, swinging his shopping bag, smirk already forming. "Look at you, old-timer," he laughed. "Still patching footwear like it's 1950? When are you moving into the modern age?" Jack glanced up, eyes gentle but firm. "Shoes break, I fix 'em," he said, then bent back to the leather. Two friends flanked Liam, grinning. "He's a walking antique," one snorted. Their cackles bounced off the glass walls. People in designer coats slowed down, half interested, half embarrassed. Liam jabbed a finger at the rust-flecked hammer beside Jack. "You sure that museum piece can handle real work?" Jack tied off a thread, ran his thumb along the seam, and didn't bother replying. The rhythm of his stitching spoke for him, quiet, sharp, certain. Little by little, the laughter thinned. Even the passers-by started watching the cobbler's hands instead of the heckler's faces. Someone near the back whispered, "Man's got grit." In that small silence, Jack seemed larger than the shiny windows, his calm tougher than any insult. For a heartbeat, the fashion district felt less about flashing lights and more about an old craftsman who still knew the value of solid work. Just as the echoes of mockery began to fade, the heavy clack of polished shoes announced another arrival. A sharply dressed gentleman stepped out from the glare of a luxury car. His presence, dignified and confident, immediately shifted the atmosphere. "Jack, I need your help," he said, extending a hand towards the aging cobbler. "Excuse me?" Liam interjected with a smirk, unable to hide his disbelief. Why would someone like him come to a humble street shoemaker? Mark, with a voice as calm as his posture was impeccable, replied, "Quality and care aren't measured by appearances alone. My expensive shoes have seen better days, and I trust you to restore them." His tone was respectful, carrying an unspoken challenge to those who doubted Jack's abilities. Liam's colleagues leaned in, whispering sarcastic comments. "Really, Mark? A man of your stature relying on old tools and a worn-out shop?" Mark's eyes met theirs with quiet determination. "It's not about what meets the eye. It's about the person behind the work. Jack has a reputation that goes beyond surface impressions." For a moment, silence fell over the small crowd. The unexpected respect in Mark's words left everyone curious. Jack's features softened, his long-practiced stoicism revealing the subtle pride of recognition. In that charged instant, it was clear. Appearances could be deceiving, and true worth often hid behind unassuming exteriors. It's not about what meets the eye. It's about the person behind the work. Jack has a reputation that goes beyond surface impressions. For a moment, silence fell over the small crowd. The unexpected respect in Mark's words left everyone curious. Jack's features softened, his long-practiced stoicism revealing the subtle pride of recognition. In that charged instant, it was clear. Appearances could be deceiving, and true worth often hid behind unassuming exteriors. "Look at those numbers. Jack's even getting more customers today," Liam hissed to a coworker as he watched the queue forming outside Jack's modest repair shop. Inside their upscale store, tension was thick as everyone whispered about the sudden shift in clientele. Later, in a curt and heated exchange behind the counter, Liam confronted Jack. "Why is your shop stealing all of our clients?" he snapped. Jack's calm eyes met his. "I fix what I can." "No harm meant, Liam. Don't play innocent," Liam retorted, voice rising. "Rumor has it you're using fake materials on these designer shoes. You're tarnishing our reputation." Jack's hands stilled as he carefully adjusted a pair of shoes. "I only use what's necessary to restore these pieces." "I don't know where that rumor came from. You expect me to believe that?" Liam scoffed. His tone, punctuated by the clatter of tools and murmurs from customers outside, screamed defiance. "Your work is cheap compared to what we offer." In the charged air, the store manager entered, urging calm. But Liam's eyes were fixed on Jack, burning with resentment. "This isn't just business. It's about pride, about legacy," Liam snarled, glancing at his colleagues who exchanged uneasy looks. Jack, unflinching, replied softly, "I work hard and honestly, Liam. Quality isn't defined by price." Their voices clashed, a rapid tempo of accusations and weary responses. The murmurs of onlookers spilled out into the street, heightening the moment's drama. Liam's threat hung in the air, a promise of more underhanded moves, while Jack's stoic resolve made it clear he would not be drawn into a trap. The atmosphere crackled with imminent danger, demanding immediate decisions and swift action. The atmosphere at Liam's store was electric on the day of the grand event. Stylish banners and sleek displays did little to mask the tension simmering beneath the surface. Everything must be perfect, Liam barked at his staff as last-minute preparations ensued. Mid-event, a gasp swept through the crowd. From the stage, Mark strode forward, his presence electrifying the room. "Ladies and gentlemen," he announced, pausing as every eye fixed on him, "I have a special guest." Whispers and surprised murmurs filled the air. Before anyone could process, Mark continued, "Please welcome Mr. Jack, our esteemed craftsman and a man whose work speaks volumes." In that instant, all eyes turned towards the entrance. Jack appeared, unassuming yet dignified, triggering a sudden ripple of confusion among the well-dressed guests and flashing cameras. Liam's face flushed with shock as he stammered, "But how?" A nearby colleague muttered, "This can't be happening. Our event, our image." Without missing a beat, Mark engaged Jack in a brief, intense dialogue. "I've known Jack for years," Mark declared calmly. "His integrity and skill are irreplaceable. You, Liam, might have something else planned, but truth isn't something you can hide." Liam's eyes darted around, realizing his carefully laid plans were spiraling out of control. Employees exchanged uneasy glances while guests began questioning the sudden twist. "Why is Jack here?" someone demanded sharply. Amid the quick decisions and swift shifts, the atmosphere turned volatile. Jack's quiet presence and Mark's unexpected intervention forced everyone to confront a new reality, one where deceit could not stand against genuine merit. The event became a battlefield of truth versus manipulation, with actions and words colliding in rapid succession, leaving no time for reflection, only immediate reaction. Liam's eyes burned with resentment as he watched Jack calmly work at his little repair shop. In a hushed conversation behind the scenes of the bustling event, Liam leaned over to his trusted colleague, Ethan. "Tonight, I'm going to make sure everyone sees Jack for what he really is." "A cheat," Liam hissed. "I've planted a story that he stole an expensive pair of shoes. When I reveal it, his reputation will be ruined." Ethan frowned, but whispered, "Are you sure? This is dangerous." "Dangerous? It's the only way to save our store's honor." Liam snapped back, pacing the cramped backstage area. He rehearsed his lines in a low, urgent tone. "I will confront him in front of everyone, and the truth will come out. In my favor." Moments later, as Jack tried to adjust a display of elegantly restored shoes, Liam stepped forward with a defiant glare. "Jack, I know you stole those designer shoes," he shouted, voice cracking with anger. The room fell silent as guests and employees turned toward the commotion. Jack's calm was shattered by the accusation. "I didn't steal anything," he replied softly, a tremor of hurt underneath his steady voice. The tension thickened instantly, sparks of conflict dancing in every glance. Ethan hovered in the background, torn by loyalty and the gravity of Liam's challenge. Liam's pulse raced as he pounced on every detail he'd crafted. "Watch closely, everyone. He's been deceiving us for years," he demanded. The words were like a siren call for an unfolding catastrophe. In that charged moment, the stage was set for a confrontation that promised to change everything. Decisions had to be made quickly, and danger lurked in every whispered doubt. Just as Liam's voice rang out accusingly, the atmosphere shifted abruptly. Without warning, Mark stepped up to the podium, his presence commanding silence. "Enough!" he bellowed, his tone cutting through the tension like a knife. "Everyone, listen!" A murmur of confusion and shock rippled through the crowd. Liam, still fuming, backed away for a split second. "What do you mean, listen?" he demanded, his voice shaking with anger. Mark's eyes swept over the assembly. "I have known Jack for a long time," he declared. "In fact, he is not merely the man behind the repairs, he is the true owner of this entire fashion district." The revelation hit like lightning, and jaws dropped among the onlookers. "How can that be?" Liam stuttered, his face paling as whispers exploded all around him. "Jack, owner," someone in the crowd repeated. Mark continued speaking with quiet authority. "Jack chose this humble role to observe and protect the true spirit of our community. His integrity and hard work are the backbone of what we all have here." Jack, who had remained silent, now looked directly at Liam, his gaze both sorrowful and resolute. Liam's heart pounded as he realized that his own plot was crumbling. Employees exchanged worried glances, while guests demanded answers in a rising tide of furious whispers. In that unexpected outburst, the entire conflict flipped. Mark's declaration turned suspicion into shock, leaving Liam vulnerable, exposed, and cornered. The air vibrated with the urgency of decisions made in the blink of an eye, a dramatic twist that left no time for retreat. Immediately after Mark's revelation, the room erupted. The stunned silence shattered into a frenzy as every eye darted between Jack and Liam. "This is impossible!" someone shouted. Voices clashed, some filled with disbelief, others with simmering anger. Liam's face drained of color. "No, this can't be," he sputtered, stepping back as if struck. In the midst of the uproar, an employee cried out, "What have we been led to believe all this while?" The cacophony of whispers and exclamations grew louder by the second. Jack stood quietly, his expression a blend of sorrow and resolute calm, while Liam fumbled for words. I didn't mean for any of this to happen," he stammered, but his voice was swallowed by the clamor. Guests demanded answers. Who is this man really? Is everything we've trusted just a lie? Amid the chaos, Liam's inner turmoil became palpable. His eyes darted nervously, sweat beading on his forehead as he tried to regain control. Some employees began to murmur support for Jack, now seen as the embodiment of authenticity. In a corner, loyal customers exchanged worried looks. The sheer volume of conflicting emotions spread like wildfire, turning the space into a battleground of truth versus deception. Every face was alight with shock, disbelief, and the urgent need for resolution. The overwhelming chorus of uncertainty and raw emotion left no room for calm. In that instant, everyone had to confront a harsh reality, a dramatic twist demanding immediate decisions amid the chaos. Later that evening, in a quiet corner behind the now raging event, Liam approached Jack with a mix of desperation and regret. The backstage air was heavy with tension. "Jack, I need to talk to you," Liam began, his voice shaking. Jack's eyes were cool but pained. "What is it, Liam?" he asked. Liam hesitated before blurting out, "I'm sorry. I was wrong. I let my pride, my jealousy, overtake me." His words were rushed, clumsy, trying to catch up with the whirlwind of emotions inside him. Jack's expression softened, yet a hint of stern disappointment lingered. "Sorry isn't enough, Liam," Jack replied steadily. "You hurt people, not just me. You hurt everyone who believed in honesty." Liam's eyes pleaded for forgiveness. "Please, Jack, I never meant it to go this far. I was blinded by my own insecurities." Jack folded his arms. "Understanding begins with owning your actions. You forced me into this role, and it's not a place I wish to be. I want to change," Liam insisted. "I want to make it right." Jack shook his head slowly. It isn't about one apology, Liam. It's about transforming the way you treat others. A long pause followed before Liam managed, "What do you want me to do?" Jack's gaze softened. "Start by learning to see people as more than their roles or appearances. Change starts from within, and I hope you find that courage." Their eyes met, a silent acknowledgement of the gravity in those words. In that quiet confrontation, an unspoken promise lingered. Liam stood on the precipice of redemption, and Jack, though disappointed, offered a lifeline, a chance for change that could heal deep wounds if Liam truly embraced it. The fallout from the confrontation quickly rippled through the fashion district. The next day, the upscale boutique where Liam once prided himself on his influence bore the mark of betrayal. Management announced Liam was relieved of his duties. Inside, whispers grew louder. "Did you hear? Liam's been let go." Outside, Liam wandered the street, head hung low. He sat alone in a cafe, replaying every harsh word and regretful moment from the night before. Back at the boutique, employees discussed the incident in hushed tones. "Maybe now we'll learn to respect real talent and honesty," one remarked. Liam's internal turmoil was evident. Every congratulatory nod toward Jack stung. Every word of sympathy for Liam deepened his regret. He realized his choices had cost him more than his job. They stripped him of trust and respect. The path forward would demand true change, a complete reckoning with the person he had allowed himself to become. The next morning, change was undeniable. Employees now spoke in respectful tones. Jack's small repair shop had become a symbol of genuine quality. A manager told staff, "We must learn to value honesty and skill above all." Outside, Jack stood at his humble entrance, quietly smiling as well-dressed clients approached him. From across the street, Liam observed the transformation with a heavy heart, muttering, "I had it all, and I let it slip away." The district was evolving, steering away from superficiality toward respect, quality, and connection. Days later, Liam sat in a cozy cafe, staring into a cold cup of coffee. Jack noticed him and said, "Liam, come sit with me. You made mistakes." Jack began gently, "But every mistake is a lesson." Liam's eyes filled with remorse. "I lost everything because of my pride." Jack nodded. "Start small. Treat everyone with genuine respect." Liam realized he was at a crossroads. This was his chance for redemption, demanding both courage and honesty. At a crowded press conference that afternoon, all eyes fixed on Jack. He began, "Today, I want to share something real with all of you." Jack spoke of how appearances seduce us and how true worth lies in character. His role as a humble shoemaker was deliberate, to see the world for what it is. A reporter asked, "So material success is meaningless?" Jack replied, "Not meaningless, just secondary. What matters is integrity, passion, and how we treat one another." He leaned forward, voice rich with conviction. The true value of a person is hidden beneath the surface, not in the shiny facade of wealth or status, but in honesty and care. The room fell silent, absorbing the weight of his message. In that defining moment, Jack reclaimed his dignity and set a new standard, one that would challenge everyone, including Liam, to re-examine what truly matters in life.